All right, let's start with some news. So, the U.S. government has been publishing a lot of really useful policy documents, and I really think it's doing a much better job than they used to. Only part of this is me getting older and being more interested in this stuff, but I'm for some of my consulting, I'm being asked to review and write policies for secure AI deployment, and just last week, NSA published guidance for AI system security, and it looks pretty good. So I really appreciate these documents. This way, you really have authority when you're talking to a company and telling them you should do this. Citing the NSA and NIST and such is much more valuable than just getting some white paper written by a vendor. So this is very valuable stuff. And I've, of course, been here listening to everybody freak out about the Supreme Court's ruling when they took up Trump's immunity claim. Now, the left MSNBC side is really mad, of course, and I generally took that position at first because his claim is ridiculous, that he should just be immune for all prosecution and be able to do anything he wants. But there is another side to this, and it might be better than more of a good thing than I'm thinking, which is I'm coming to think that Trump is right about his current prosecution in New York City. He says a lot of crazy things that are wrong, and he lies a lot. But the point is, this is really garbage. This is really a nothing prosecution that shouldn't be happening. It's no different than what Bill Clinton did. Or not Bill Clinton. Yeah, Bill Clinton did this with Monica Lewinsky, and RFK Jr. did it with Marilyn Monroe. A lot of presidents have had secret affairs and covered them up to avoid the political controversy. And, they might have found some technicality with the paperwork that he did wrong according to New York City law, but it is pretty weak. And, the other stuff he did is really terrible, like trying to change the vote count in Georgia and the attack on Congress on January 6th. But that's not what they're prosecuting him for, so it really is kind of bad. And so it kind of does make a point that if this is going to be the norm now, then every president really will be subjected to prosecution after they get out. And so maybe the Supreme Court does need to rule on some kind of rules about that. Now, unfortunately, what they're doing is kind of like the rest of the nation. There's people on the left with a sort of idealistic position that is, well, they're well supported, but kind of out of date. And then there's people on the right who don't seem to make any sense except to just follow whatever Trump says. It's not enough clear discussion in a productive way. But they're kind of right that this is an issue. What protections should presidents have against prosecution? Let me check for comments in the, wait, cancel this. I want to go here and here. Okay, good. Go government. Glad they're doing better than before. Well, yeah, you could argue that. Anyway, so there's been a lot of claims that Tesla cars are unsafe and they cause a lot of harm. And so here they've got, NHTSA has found that this thing of having it almost drive the car for you, but you're theoretically supposed to pay attention. I've heard studies that say that humans can't do that. If you tell them to drive the car, they could drive the car. Tell them to not drive the car, they can do that. But paying enough attention to take over an emergency, but otherwise letting it do itself just sort of lulls you to sleep and you don't pay attention. So it's not clear that the current thing is very safe. On the other hand, Elon Musk's general defense here is that they're safer than human drivers. And as far as I can tell, there are not clear numbers to see if that is true or not. That would be a reasonable standard, in my opinion. Anyway, people are getting concerned about the safety of Tesla devices. And Google has a security subscription for Chrome if you use it in a company, which gives you, I think, some ability to centralized manage updates and things like that. It's not really clear exactly what the benefits that you get. Here's what they say. Data loss prevention is the only thing here that struck me as perhaps valuable and something that you wouldn't get normally with the free version of Chrome. Anyway, data loss prevention is what watches your outgoing traffic to see if it contains sensitive things like social security numbers or credit card numbers, that sort of thing. So many people have been writing articles about attacking the edge devices on your network, the routers and firewalls, which unfortunately do not have any defense themselves. They defend servers and workstations, but defending the firewall itself against attack seems to be an unexplored territory. Though I think that soon there will be more secure firewalls for sale. And so here's Cisco devices. Their Cisco ASA device, which is a firewall at the edge of your network, has vulnerabilities, and a nation-state hacking group is exploiting them. So it is a big issue, and I think we all need more secure firewalls. Checking for comments. Chrome isn't great for data security anyway. Well, I'm not sure it's any different than any other browsers. Let's see, I'm going to put a link about the election fraud, pure and simple. Well, that's what they say, yeah. Yeah, they're going to try to make that case, but I'm afraid it's pretty weak. They might fail with this. They might very well fail. And even if they succeed, I'm not sure it's a good thing. But anyway, yep, that's what he's charged with, yeah. All right. So, in the United States, we just recently reapproved FISA, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, which is, privacy advocates don't like it, but almost all the government people who receive classified briefings say we absolutely need it. Most of what's in the President's Daily Brief comes from that program. And in the UK, they just passed a similar one, Investigatory Powers Bill. This is one that people are very upset about. The privacy people, it claims it's going to widen the digital surveillance powers of the government. So we'll see what happens. Most people I've read have greatly criticized this bill, saying it is far too extreme, far too much snooping, rather sort of like our Patriot Act. Discord is a chat service a lot of people use, and apparently it's had bots that scraped and sold user messages, spying on people, so that's pretty harsh. And they found it and shut it down. So that's another threat. Even if the platform itself is not stealing your data, the people can find ways to exploit it to steal your data. And so the U.S. government has passed the bill to ban TikTok unless they sell it to an American company within the next 9 months or a year. But supposedly, ByteDance, the company that owns it, only makes 20% of their profits in America, and they would rather let it get banned than sell it off. So this is, maybe this is true and TikTok will really get banned. Maybe this is just a negotiating position to try to get a higher price for selling it. We're going to see over the next year, I guess, unless it gets stopped in the courts. A lot of people think free speech, the First Amendment, means the government shouldn't be shutting down TikTok, and they'll be arguing that in court, so that might happen. It might never get to the point where they're actually compelled to sell it off. And Russia, in the UN, vetoed the resolution on nuclear weapons in space. So people are concerned, thinking that Russia is developing a nuclear weapon in a satellite, which is a pretty scary thought. It's not clear to me why you would want an orbiting nuclear weapon. You presumably want to shoot something on the ground. But one thing that is clear is if you set the thing off, you'd certainly make a mess of orbits. Anyway, Lord knows, that would be pretty extreme if Russia actually makes a nuclear weapon in space. I'm not sure what the consequences will be. Anyway, I'm going to stop this.